You know what? You feel me? Turn that sound off so that I don't accidentally rebroadcast it and you guys hear wumba 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 wumba. Would be awful. Oh yeah, so that was bobbing for piranhas. Uh no, Linda, I'm not in Michigan. That was bobbing for piranhas, one of the great bands in northern Michigan. And before that, Jason Eller with Beer from a Horses. So yeah, no, I'm not in Michigan. This is not Michigan. Michigan right now is covered in snow. 11 inches is forecast for tonight. And I'm glad I'm not in it. So, I've got a lot of stuff to tell you tonight, folks. Please don't click away. If you do, you're going to regret it. Okay. I promise you this. It's busting loose. I'm going to tell you what I can. I got to be very careful because I don't want to spoil anything. You feel me? So I'm in Florida where there are a lot of interesting people. Naval Air Station Pensacola, actually. And yeah, we're going to have some fun. Now, at 9:30, about 15 minutes from now, I'm supposed to be interviewed by a network from India. And I thought that I would share that with you. It could be, very interesting. Uh, I'm basically going to go over everything that has happened to me and with the footage that I took over the last 11 months. It's just 10 days shy of 11 months since I gave my video that showed two federal agents attacking the Capitol to the FBI. I provided the FBI with 29 minutes of high definition footage that showed two men. One was breaking a window and urging people to go inside, and the other was literally pushing people inside the Capitol building. How do I know that these men are federal agents? Well, at first, I kind of knew that they were cops, okay? Just by their bearing, the way that they behaved, the things that they said, the things that they did. I've been around alpha males all my life, and I'm here to tell you folks, these guys were in the club. They were definitely operators. And now, 11 months later, I am positively convinced. I spoke with agents from the FBI, the Joint Terrorism Task Force, the Secret Service, and NCIS on January 15th. I gave all of them a copy of my video, and I wrote out a narrative of what I saw that day. And I told them that if you want to talk to me further, I would be happy to come in and sit down and give you a statement, provide all the footage that I took on the 5th, 6th, and 7th, everything that you want. I got nothing to hide. As of this moment, 21:18, that's military time, 9:18 p.m. on the 5th of December, 2021, I have not been contacted by the FBI to ask me for a statement or to ask me to come in, to ask me any questions whatsoever. It's not like I'm hiding, okay? I have been badgering them with phone calls and emails asking, what the hell's going on here? They refuse to answer any of my questions. They won't return my emails, they won't return my phone calls, and I'm not in handcuffs. Okay, so this tells me they don't want these men found. They don't want the video that I shot to end up in front of a federal judge. That's why they won't seek a warrant for my arrest. It scares them to death because they this last thing that they want is to put this video in the official record. Uh, for those that haven't seen it, while we're waiting for this fella, I put up a brand new video just not too long ago, and it kind of details everything that's happened, only very quick, right? It's just a short 4-minute video, And I want to play it for you right now so that you can see what I'm talking about if you haven't seen the show before. And excuse me, I'm literally doing the jobs of 4 people at the same time. Okay, so just bear with me for a second, and I will hook you up with this video. Where did it come on? Show me YouTube. There's my YouTube. Okay. Okay, let's get rid of the lower third. I don't need that. What you will see at the bottom of this video is my new Substack feed. I guess that's what it's called. Since Google has demonetized me, YouTube has demonetized me, PayPal just canceled my account. So they've done everything that they can to shut me up, and they're failing, because I don't care if I have 2 nickels to rub together. I really don't. If I have to walk in my underwear wearing a sandwich board and strumming a guitar down Times Square, yelling at the top of my lungs to get this message out, that's exactly what I'm going to do. The only way that they can stop me is to kill me. They've already tried to bribe me. I'm going to tell you about that after a little bit. $200,000 I was offered. Let me tell you something, people. Especially the scumbags that are watching this right now. You cannot buy my honor. If you want to shut me up, you're going to have to kill me. And don't think I'm not ready for that possibility. So, okay. Now, I will show you this video. It's just 4 minutes long. And it basically covers everything. So here we go. You ready? And now they arrested that kid. They took his driver's license, and then they let him go. And then they walk away from this window that he had just broken. That is insane. There's no tactical advantage to that. That man is a
Do not go in there.
Yeah, that's You can see the forward motion of my camera as I'm being pushed inside the Capitol building right there. There's a man on my left that's got his hands on my shoulders pushing me inside.
Yeah, baby! Hey, it might take just a little more. Pepper's right.
FBI telling you God's truth, speaking in the name of and with the authority of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because I am telling you the truth. It was the FBI and not Trump supporters who led the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th. Take you on, headstrong to take on anyone. I know that you are wrong. Headstrong, we're headstrong. Back off, I'll take you on. Headstrong to take on anyone. I know that you are wrong, and this is not where you belong.
Oh yeah, so that was that, and this is now. I need to update that actually because the last time I updated it apparently was November 18th, and here it is several weeks later, and they still haven't contacted me. They still haven't uploaded the images of those two men. I have checked over 700 indictments. The images of those men they haven't been uploaded to the FBI's YouTube channel. They haven't been put on their government website where they're asking people to identify the insurrectionists at the Capitol, and hasn't been put on their Facebook page. They are still, to this day, putting up fuzzy images of people just milling around outside doing nothing. And they refuse to put up my video or any of the images that I capture. That's proof to me that they're hiding these men. And it's going to come back to bite them in the ass. You watch and see if it doesn't. Because it's always the cover up, it's always the lie that gets you. Nixon found out about that. He was impeached because he tried to cover up Watergate. He didn't have anything to do with it. Really, he didn't know about it, but he lied about it after he found out. Clinton, same thing. I did not have sex with that woman. Liar. So he was impeached. It's always the cover up, folks. It's always the lie. The lie is the devil's most simple tool to mess you up. And he doesn't play favorites either, old Beelzebub. He will use you to do his will, and then he will throw you in the freaking garbage 10 seconds later. He'll throw you to the wolves. He doesn't care. He just wants you to be evil so that he can grab your soul. So don't be evil. Okay? Okay, I've got some messages here I've got to look at. Yeah, okay. Got you there. All right. Now, I sent the FBI an email to their media contact, actually, on 5/4/21, and I asked them these following questions. Who gave the order to that squad of 8 Capitol Hill police officers to leave the window that was broken by Hunter Emke undefended with a mob beating down the doors 30 feet away? That was question 1. Question 2. Who were the 2 men who acted calmly with military bearing, who pulled the window from its frame and tried to push me and others inside the Capitol? Number 3. I provided the FBI with 29 minutes of high-definition video, yet no images of these 2 men are anywhere to be found. The FBI has not arrested them, does not appear to be looking for them, and is definitely not looking for input from the public to ascertain their identities. That is a fact. My viewers and I would like to know why. Again, as of today, as of this moment, I've received no reply to those questions or a reply of any kind from any federal agency. Several of the Capitol Hill defendants from Michigan, where The Truth Is Viral is based, are being represented by the Federal Defender's Office in Detroit. Got crazy things flying around in the air over here, folks. I left messages with these Department of Justice public defenders, is basically what they are. I told them about this video. They won't call me back. This video has been seen tens of millions of times since I shot it. It's been on network news twice. And yeah, it should be in the record, don't you think? It's almost like these federally employed public defenders don't want to know about exculpatory evidence that might benefit their clients. They should ask Nevada former Assistant U.S. Attorney Stephen Myrie of Nevada how that went for him when he lied about evidence in the Bundy case. So I think they're doing it because that video and everything that's happened since January 6th is going to implicate the FBI and the Department of Justice in criminal activity. You know, I never went inside the Capitol because my instincts as a United States Marine told me that it was wrong. I swore as a 16-year-old with my feet on those yellow footprints in Parris Island to protect and defend this nation from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And that's exactly what I did. I don't care if somebody was wearing a Trump hat or carrying an American flag. Nobody was going through that broken window while I was standing there. And nobody did. I got my ass beat. But nobody went in that window. You can ask my fiance. I was in bed for a month. I was so sore. But I've had a little success getting this video out into the mainstream. At least I think I've had some success because I have personally contacted 10 United States senators and representatives on both sides of the aisle. Kirsten, Sinema, and Josh Hawley were the first to take possessions of it, Republican and Democrat senators. But the only reason that they knew about it was because I called one of their local offices and spoke with one of their staffers. Every single phone call that I made to Washington, D.C., 535 of them. I've been busy, folks. I really have. 535 phone calls to every member of Congress in Washington, D.C. Not one was returned. So I started calling local offices. And I've gotten some success there. See, we got Sinema and Hawley. Got Louie Gohmert, Pete Sessions, Dr. Paul Gosar, and Marjorie Taylor Greene came on board just the other day. I personally handed a thumb drive with my video in it to Lauren Boebert and Matt Gaetz at a Trump rally in Sarasota, Florida, earlier this year. So I know that these people have it. I've given it to others. Now, I'm not going to name any names, but you know these people. They are supposedly in Trump's inner circle. They've had it for months, 6 months in the case of one individual. Everybody knows his name. Everybody knows his face. Everybody loves him to death. So what's stopping him from walking up to a television camera or a microphone and say, hey, check this out? I don't know. Could it be cowardice? Possibly. Could these people be deep state traitors? That's a very good possibility. One thing I'm here to tell you, folks, is we've got traitors on the left and the right. It doesn't matter in this case. Republicans or Democrats, they're equally dirty. So I have been basically beating my head against a wall for the last 11 months, typing and copying and pasting and making phone calls to everybody that I can think of, everybody with a pulse and an email address. Most of my emails aren't getting through, and those that do, they're getting returned undeliverable, is what they say on the thing, undeliverable. How do you send an email to a government server to Ron Johnson and get the message undeliverable? So they've got me in electronic wasteland, really. Nothing I'm sending is getting out, or it's being diverted, or if people do see it, then they think, oh, Bobby Powell's crazy. Well, I'm not crazy. I'm very level-headed. I sometimes act before I think. My fiance keeps a rein on that pretty good. Like, for example, the flight down here. I was going. I had to make arrangements to give somebody money to pay for it because after January 6th, my credit went no more credit card, right? So I had to have somebody pay my airline ticket for me using their credit card, and they lived like 3 hours away. So this person was going to be nice and meet me halfway, still an hour and a half drive, right? So my fiance says, "Why don't you go to Walmart and just send it to him?" See, she thinks of the simple things, right? And it saves me a whole lot of hassle. But I'm not crazy. I'm really not. I've been doing this job for 36 years. I have sent thousands of emails to government officials at every level of government, local, county, state, and federal. They are always returned. Always, 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 always. Sometimes you might get a reply that says it's still under investigation. We can't comment now, or you might get a no comment. I've gotten those before. And okay, India is about online. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Hello, India. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and let's go. I know they don't. And it's gonna stay that way. Okay. Let me go ahead and accept this Zoom invitation, and we will get this party started, folks. Okay. Just bear with me for 60 seconds. And don't forget, go to givesendgo.com/Bobby Powell and throw me whatever won't put you out. I really do need it. They have totally demonetized me. I'm doing this on my Social Security and my savings. I literally lost my house. Had to sell my house because I could no longer afford to keep it. So I do need your help. And in 60 seconds, we're going to be back with that fella from India, and we're going to talk some more about January 6th. So stand by. And I don't want no one.
Can you hear us?
Sure can.
No, I love your backdrop. I wish we had cool technology like that. All right, so I'm
one moment, please.
Pardon me?
Okay. Well, hey, I guess we're live.
I'm about to start recording.
Okay. Well, I'm live. How about
that? Well, it's me and Sue J. We are the two conservatives, and on the other side of the aisle, we have Jay and Jacob. And we're going to start recording.
This should be fun.
Recording in progress.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about.
Okay, hold on just 1 second, please.
Yes,
I've got a blank screen. I need to take care of that. I'm about to put you up on here, and everybody's gonna see how pretty you are. Okay.
Well, I'm not very pretty, but okay.
Well, it'll work. Okay.
The younger guys can feel that. Jay looks like some kind of like Indian rock star anyway with the long hair. Actually, both guys. Both of you have long hair. I used to have long hair 30 years ago.
All right. Well, can you introduce yourself to my audience, please? You are
Hi.
live on The Truth is Viral.
Okay, I am Robert Farrow with the right.
And I'm Sujay Gaurav from India.
I'm Jacob Jones from North Carolina.
Oh, can't hear you, Jay. Yeah.
I'm Jay from New Jersey. I'm a progressive.
How you doing? So we are all here to talk about January 6th. Was it an insurrection? Was it a protest that was blown out of proportion? One thing I wanted to talk about real quick, which I didn't expect would happen, was the march yesterday. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Go ahead and fill us in.
I'm pretty freaking shocked. There was a march by a group called the Patriot Front, and they were marched on DC, and they were not treated well. And I was kind of shocked because I'm on every conservative website. I've never heard of them. And then once I saw the video, I'm like, okay, false flag. And I know everyone's like, oh, there's a conspiracy nut. But I've been in many conservative protests. And everyone had their face covered. Everyone was wearing glasses. Everyone had khakis. They were marching. Dude, that is so not a conservative march.
Yeah, it definitely looks a little suspect. I'm just pulling it up right now, and it looks very odd. I mean, they have the upside down American flags. Not really sure. It says it's the. I mean, what is I don't know what the group exactly would be. The Patriot Front.
The Patriot Front is what they were called, and then afterwards they get in a bunch of U-Hauls. So yeah, that's a false flag.
So what do you mean by false flag? Are you saying that like they're not, that this didn't happen?
No, I'm saying that's not a conservative group. That is a group that is opposed to our side, pretending to be that group.
I mean, because the Patriot Front has been around since like 2017. I mean, they're full through conservative. I mean, you may not heard them, but
that is not a conservative.
I mean, they were at like Charlottesville. They were at all these Trump rallies. They're
okay. Well,
in my opinion, I think that they're a white supremacist group.
I have to say that I've never heard of them.
I don't
either.
really think that they're conservatives, but
yes, I am on every conservative app. Never heard of them.
Me either.
And guess what?
Well, I think maybe because they're not mainstream, right? They're a white supremacist group, right? They're neo-Nazis. So,
well, let me tell you. Let me educate you, young man. Let me educate you. Conservatives do not hang out with Nazis.
They don't.
Yeah, that's why I said that they're not mainstream conservatives. They're neo-Nazis. That's why I said you may have not heard of them, because they're not conservatives. They're neo-Nazis.
Okay. Now, let me ask a question for the group. I wasn't really fully aware of what was going on here. I didn't know that we were going to have a group debate, but hey, let's get this on.
Sure.
Okay. Now, gentlemen on the left, okay, have you seen the video that I shot on January 6th?
No, I couldn't find any of your videos online. I had looked up your name, but I couldn't find anything.
All right. Well, I'm about to share my screen. Rob, if you need to do any technical wizardry to make that happen, here it comes. I'm going to share my screen.
I can make you full screen, I think.
Okay. It says host has disabled participant screen sharing. So you need to fix that, please.
Okay, let me share screen. Okay, and I believe I fixed it.
Okay. Yeah, it says Rob has started screen sharing. All right. Now I'm seeing your screen, but I need to. I need folks to see mine.
Yeah, so you have to give him permission, Rob.
I thought I did.
How come when I'm talking, my image, my beautiful backdrop here isn't showing?
It even says you are screen sharing.
It says I'm screen sharing.
No, I am.
It says that you're.
You have to enable.
So Rob, if you want them
for others.
Okay. I apologize.
If you want, you can also just make him host. That's easier.
Can I do that? How do I do that?
It should be under participants, like the arrow above, like there's a upward facing arrow on top of participants.
Okay. Okay. There is, and it's no. How do I? Okay, I found him. How do I make him more? Make host.
Yeah, make me a host.
You are the host, sir.
Okay, excellent. Okay, now I'm going to start sharing my screen so these gentlemen can see the video that I shot on January 6th. Okay, and I want them to look at this critically and tell me what you think of this. These two men right here, the one on the left and the one on the right, are two federal agents. And as soon as you watch this video, I'm going to tell you how I know that.
Are you supposed to say?
Okay, now do you guys see that broken window right
Yes.
behind them? Okay.
Yes.
Now, with a mob trying to go inside, telling these police officers, we're going in there, why do you think that they would leave it completely undefended?
Well, actually, so I have seen.
Hold on, Jay.
Okay.
Those men received orders just moments before I turned on my camera to leave that window unguarded. Now, I would have caught it on video, but I was, judiciously using my battery power. But the broadcast that told them to leave that window is what caused me to turn my camera on, and I captured this video of them leaving that window completely undefended. You need to ask yourselves why. And then this happened. That man is a federal agent. Do not go in there. After he fought with that kid, that man disappeared in the crowd and he was never seen again because he knew that his cover had been blown. He was standing there watching me with my press helmet on and a camera pointed right at him. 1 second he's pulling the window out, and the next second he's trying to pretend like he's some great hero by pushing that other kid that tried to run inside. Now, just a couple of minutes later, at the east entrance at the doors, this happened. Watch the forward motion of my camera here as I'm being pushed inside the Capitol building.
Yeah, baby!
Okay. Now, I gave them, when I say them, I mean the FBI. How come I'm not on the screen here when I'm talking?
I don't know. We see
You are on
you.
the screen. Yeah, we see you.
Yeah, we see you.
Oh, you do? Okay. My I don't, and my folks can't. But that's okay. They know how beautiful and pretty I am. So I would like you to tell me why this is happening. Why these guys are pushing people inside and breaking windows, and why, after I gave the FBI 29 minutes of high definition footage of these two guys, not a single frame of video, not a single screenshot has appeared anywhere on the FBI's properties. I've called and emailed the FBI dozens of times now, offering to come in to give them a statement and provide them with all of the video that I shot on January 6th and the 5th and the 7th. They won't have anything to do with me. And I'll tell you why. I'm not even going to ask you to guess, because I'm going to tell you why. If they take my video and put it in front of a federal judge to seek a warrant for my arrest, it's going to show one of their operatives breaking a window, urging people to go inside, and me defending it. That was my voice that you heard that said, "Don't go in there." Okay? That's what conservatives do, my young friends. We don't play that mess. Every person, well, I'm not going to say every person, let's say 90% of the people that went inside the Capitol on January 6th were invited in by police officers who removed barricades, opened electronically mag-locked sealed doors, and let them inside. Why would they do that unless it's to cause a false flag that is going to, get President Trump impeached again, make sure that he never returns to the Oval Office, and then also brand his supporters as domestic terrorists?
Yeah, I've seen videos of the police opening the gates and waving people in. I've seen that myself, and I was there, but I left before the Capitol thing started. So, but I was there. So let's let our the other side of the aisle rebut.
Well, to be honest go ahead, Jay. That's fine.
Oh, sorry. So I was just gonna say, like, I did see your video before on your website. I believe you were being interviewed by another host on another video, and you showed him the same video. But essentially, the New York Times, right? They did analysis of the entire Capitol raid, and they actually showed a video inside of the Capitol during this particular smashing of the window, and that they showed that there was actually guards inside. So that's one of the things that was not actually left unguarded. There was guards inside of the Capitol. The reason why those people
let me stop you for a second there, JD.
Well, no, let me finish.
No, I don't mean to.
I
don't mean to interrupt, because you're wrong. Number one, you're talking about the west side of the Capitol.
Yes.
That video that you're talking about was on the west side of the Capitol, and the video that I shot was on the east side. And the video of the mag doors on the east entrance being unlocked is on the east side. Okay. So now please continue with your point, Jay.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, yes, the New York Times, right? They showed both west and east sides of the Capitol, right? But essentially, right, they showed that there was guards inside of the Capitol, so that's the reason why there's not sufficient guards inside the Capitol. I'll give you that, right? There was only, I think, 2-3 guards inside the Capitol. But the thing is, we already know that guards were incredibly thin, right? During the Capitol invasion, we know that there was, I think, the actual size of the police force, the Capitol police force that was there that day, I think was only 200 people going against thousands. So we know that the crowd was extremely thin. Multiple units were called up to the various doors. So a lot of the units from the east side were called up to the west, according to the New York Times analysis. And we know, I personally believe that the reason that they should have probably stayed there, but the thing is that there was pretty bad planning, right? Because we know that the Capitol Police Force was not prepared for this. And tons of congressional hearings have proved this. But yeah, I mean, additionally, I think that you mentioned that essentially federal agents were waving people into the Capitol and stuff like that. I think that kind of goes into the entire deep state conspiracy of the government itself is working to get worked to get Trump.
It is on video though.
Okay, well, Jay,
I mean, yeah, I do. It is on video, right? There was a couple police officers who did open barricades, but I really think that that's down to the fact that they were Trump supporters. When you actually look at everything, Trump controlled the FBI. Trump controlled the Department of Justice.
No,
Trump controlled all these federal
spied
agencies.
on Trump for 4 years, man.
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
Jay, I need to ask you a question real quick here, son. Okay, so I agree with you that there was a paucity of police officers. There weren't that many inside the Capitol building. Why do you think that was? When 2 days before January 6th, President Trump offered 20,000 National Guard troops to defend the Capitol in case there was any trouble, and Nancy Pelosi refused it. Okay, I'll give you another thing about Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, as the leader of the House and the Senate, are on the board of the Capitol Police. They control what the Capitol Police does. So, who do you think that the order ultimately came from to leave the window that Hunter Emke broke undefended? Who do you think told them to do that, Jay? I'd like an answer to that question.
Once again, we know that the response from the Capitol was not adequate, right? There's tons of news media that reported this, showing that the Capitol Police was simply not prepared for this. It's simply a logistical issue. I mean, this entire whitewashing of the Capitol as like a cool, as not as like like how do you say an internal job from Nancy Pelosi and all these people. I mean, it just kind of shows that Trump supporters themselves can't even take the blame for something that they caused. They don't even have any semblance of responsibility for this.
If we did it,
how were we ever gonna?
If we did it, yeah, I would take responsibility. But here's the thing: like when the reporters came in during the Kavanaugh hearing, there was more than one time. That just actually happened the second time, where people have came into the Capitol.
Yes,
and no one gets arrested. Yeah. No one, gets held in solitary confinement for 6 months when liberals do it. It's happened more than once. But you say he controlled the FBI? The FBI was spying on, Trump, his friends. They made up the P dossier, which is actually with the help of British intelligence. There is they just spied on Tucker Carlson. If we're sitting there controlling the government, we're doing a pretty piss poor job of it, because the government is doing everything they can to screw over conservatives. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like just yesterday just confirmed me that wasn't white supremacist. That was the government. They all had freaking khakis. I mean, why would they do this? If you're doing
these conspiracy theories just don't make sense, honestly. I mean, you're saying that they weren't white supremacists because they were wearing khakis and they had some type of march or something. I mean, okay. They are.
Let's discuss things that are true now that were conspiracy theories 2 or 3 years ago. Vaccine passports, they were saying, were conspiracy theories 2 or 3 years ago. Do you remember that?
When?
Let's see, detention camps. That's a conspiracy theory. It exists right now.
Yeah, the Australians are not having a very good time right now.
The Great Reset, conspiracy theory? No, it's real. It's on. I mean, they talk about it bluntly. I mean, when it's on video, you're calling. I mean, at that point, when it's on video and they say this, how can you say it's a conspiracy theory? The commercial, you're going to own nothing in 2030 and you'll be happy. They're saying it. Barack Obama said on video, the perfect thing for me would be to sit there and, I'm going to paraphrase him because I can't remember the exact wording, but basically somebody's going to be up front running the government, but I'm going to be, do you remember the exact wording, Sujay?
Yeah, he said he's gonna be in a basement somewhere in DC and run the whole show with a front. Yeah.
With a front. He said it on video. So I'm crazy. And
this does feel like an Obama presidency. Yeah.
And I watched 6 states stop counting on election night. I watched it. I've never seen that happen before. And then when they started counting,
even Bill Barr, though, so going back to this idea of election fraud as well. I mean, even Bill Barr, who he was so, Trump infatuated that he blocked parts of the Mueller report from being released to Congress people, right? He was that Trump affiliated. Yeah, even he said that the election was completely secure. His Department of Justice said that the election was completely secure. Homeland Security, who Trump controlled, said that the election was completely secure.
Yeah, that's the federal government. That's like asking Mother Jones for their critique on conservatives. Okay. They're not exactly unbiased.
Let me tell you something, CJ.
It was under Trump's federal government.
Let me tell you something, Jay. Bill Barr is as deep state as they come. Okay, he was Comey's attorney general.
So you're saying that Trump is Trump is appointing people of the deep state? It was just. That's essentially what you're saying. Trump is appointing people who he knows will take him down.
He made bad choices.
He made bad choices. Yeah, he did.
Yes.
And
he made my biggest critique. Okay, in 10 minutes, my time goes off. Can somebody else restart this in 10 minutes?
Yeah, it can be restarted in 10 minutes. Go
ahead, Jacob. You haven't said anything.
No, I mean, there was a lot of things that I was listening to and trying to get a general grasp of what point exactly was trying to be made. It felt like there was a lot there. I'm interested. I mean, it's just kind of odd to me, and I don't like want to be, rude or anything, but it's like, you with the camera, the video that you're shooting at the Capitol, you're committing a felony. Like while you're doing that, you're trespassing on federal property. Like there are police there that are trying to stop you from doing what you're doing. There's a video of you moving inwards inside the Capitol. 5 people died at this event. 4 officers killed themselves after. I mean, look it up. I mean, 5 people were dead from the event. I just don't understand. It's like the double standard, like between like you're trying to somehow convince me this was like I don't even really know what you're trying to convince me of. It was just this long rant, and I just don't really understand. Like there's so many like things that you brought up that I can't even like begin to understand what sort of point you're making.
No, you can't, because I've been at this for 11 months, and there's no way that in 5 minutes you're going to be able to grasp it all. But I'm going to boil it down for you real quick here, okay?
Oh yeah.
All these things that you say that I just did, you say that they were felonies, okay? Why am I not in FBI custody? I have called the FBI dozens of times, begging them to let me come in and give them a statement, begging them to put up my video on the internet, and they have refused.
Lucky, bro. You're lucky is the thing.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
I mean,
I'm not lucky.
You have to realize
I'm not
there's
lucky.
only currently.
I caught them committing a false flag on video. There is nothing that they can do or say that is going to negate that.
No, yeah, for sure. No, but like. Continue. What were you trying to say? What were you trying to say? I'm intrigued. Like what do I? Okay. Like I know that I can't possibly understand it all in 5 minutes, but that's just because you're throwing so many like random like questions at me that like I can't even begin to answer like any of your points.
Jacob, let me
because there's so many things there.
Let's stop right there. Just answer this one question. Can you think of any logical reason why I am not in a DC jail right at this moment?
Okay, so the thing is that the FBI is still working through all of these, they're still arresting people. I mean, so according to the Washington Post, right, they believe there was around 2,500 people that they estimated who trespassed onto the Capitol. So the thing is, the FBI is taking time to do all of this, right? They're still going through various pieces of reporting. I think that you should probably keep on sending in, your video, and eventually maybe in a couple months you will be arrested once the FBI actually gets to your case. But yeah, I mean, wait for.
I'm sorry, Jay.
If you want to, meet up.
I'm sorry, Jay, but you're just delusional now.
Okay, no, don't do
You're just delusional.
You're calling us delusional?
Yes, I'm calling you delusional. It's like I walked into the FBI office and said, "Here, arrest me," and they refused to do it.
Because do you realize how many videos the FBI is getting? You're not the only person in this country of 300 million people who are sending videos to the FBI regarding this one.
How many Kavanaugh protesters have been arrested?
Yeah, but you have to realize that
Kavanaugh protesters?
Yeah, they were banging on.
How many of them were arrested
when he was being sworn in? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know specifically the Kavanaugh protest, but I can tell you that there was quite a few people arrested at other protests, from people on the other side. So it's not like it's like a one-sided thing. We're like,
oh, I do think it's a one-sided thing.
Truly, I mean, you truly
the Kavanaugh hearings, yeah.
I mean, well, it's just like, I mean, maybe sure at the Kavanaugh hearings they didn't arrest as many people, but like there's so many instances. Okay, I mean, just
them out of the room.
Okay, let me. 3 or 4 years ago, I did not think there was a deep state. 3 or 4 years ago, I didn't believe any of this. But the amount of things that are happening now, that is the thing starting to make the most sense. And people can say conspiracy, and obviously I do not believe in all conspiracies. But if you think the government's never done a false flag, you don't know your own history. In fact, that's per par course of what a lot of governments do if they're trying to sit there and abuse power. I know history, and I can give you about dozens of examples of countries doing, in fact, I can give you probably hundreds of examples of countries doing false flags. This isn't out of the realm of possibility. Our government was going to do it in the 50s. I mean, this is, and they all do it. So it's at least like voter fraud. People got arrested for voter fraud. You can say, well, maybe there wasn't enough voter fraud to change the election. That's a logical statement. But to say there wasn't any voter fraud, that's you not knowing what's going on.
I mean, nobody's saying that there wasn't any voter fraud. Obviously, there's going to be some amount of voter fraud. We're just saying the extent of voter fraud that occurred was simply not enough in any regard by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of private and public investigators.
Did you hear what Kemp said last week?
Can I
interject
here? I've got firsthand information on this. Okay.
Yes.
I host a radio show here in Michigan. It's called Your Defending Fathers on WCHY in Sheboygan. Okay. And one of our good friends, matter of fact, the lawyer for the station, Matt DePerno. I'm sure that if you've been following the election fraud case, you'll know him.
What name?
Matt DePerno.
I've heard of that name.
Okay. And let's see, there was State Senator Patrick Colbeck and my boss, who owns the radio station, Randy Bishop. They were poll watchers, in Detroit. Now, Patrick Colbeck is literally a rocket scientist, state senator from the state of Michigan. Okay. He designed all of the cabling for the International Space Station. This man knows what he's talking about. He discovered, and he photographed a T3 line coming in and connecting to the voting machines. Okay. Now, those machines should not have been connected to the internet in any way, shape, or form. Okay. That's number one. So obviously, electronic voting fraud, the infrastructure was there. Department of D&I Radcliffe, before Biden took over, he said in an official statement that packets of data from China were found in the Dominion voting systems. Why in the hell are any packets of data from China inside our voting systems? I would like for somebody to answer that question.
China owns part of the Dominion company.
Oh, great! I mean, so we're just going to give our existential enemies access to our voting system. That's
okay. In 1980s,
brilliant.
Would you have been okay if the Soviet Union?
These are multinational companies.
Okay. In 1980s, would you have allowed the Soviet Union to handle our voting systems?
But the thing is, we've been using Dominion Dominion was used in 2017, right? China owned Dominion in 2017. Yeah. Not all Dominion, some Chinese firm owned part of Dominion during 2017. Does that mean just because China owned part of Dominion in 2017 and Dominion voting machines were used in 2017?
What does Europe use?
Yes.
What does Europe use?
I mean, I don't think Europe. I mean, I could look it up, I suppose. But I don't know. I don't think they would all use the exact same voting system, considering Europe is composed of tons of different
ballots.
Well, I mean, it depends on the country. What voting? Europe is not.
Well, I understand that, but I have a video of Biden mentioning the danger of electronic voting and how it can be abused. I get New York Times article saying how, mail-in ballots can be abused. They're the reason why these things get pushed. And also the other part of it,
Ray,
like
we've got
Kemp
less than a
last
minute
week-
left.
Kemp last week discussed fraudulent voting. Of course, he's the asshole who sat there and confirmed it. But when there's actually people admitting there is fraudulent voting, it doesn't make the news. And the problem is your news says one thing and my news says another.
Okay,
All right,
we've got less than 1 minute left. Oh, wow, there it goes. Okay, folks, they're going to start this meeting up, and we're going to be right back. Don't go anywhere. You're watching The Truth is Viral right here, wherever the hell you are.
Now, I'm standing here today telling you God's truth, speaking in the name of and with the authority of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because I am telling you the truth. It was the FBI and not Trump supporters who led the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th.
Hey, did you guys know that I could sing? I'm not very good at it, but doggone it, I sing with feeling.
Yes. But if you're feeling froggy, Bob, there's a mic over here. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. We've got the right to choose it. There ain't no way to lose it. This is our right. This is our song. We'll fight the power to be just. Don't pick our destiny, 'cause you don't know what you don't it. Come on. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. Just in time, nigga. We're not gonna take it. Come on. No, we ain't gonna take it. What was it? We put your budget in that anymore. That's right, that's 20. We're not gonna take it. Yeah, let's hear it now. We ain't gonna take it. On your uniform. We're not gonna take it anymore. Ain't gonna take this crap no more, man.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
That was for you, Bobby.
That was for Bob Powell. The truth is viral, and all of us here in the state of Michigan and all across.
Well, no, I can't sing very well, but doggone it, I sing with feeling. Okay, they're about ready. They're on the Zoom call again. I got to accept this invitation, and we'll be right back with this party. Oh my gosh, these kids, they just don't know what the hell they're talking about, do they? Get away from me, Skeeter. I've got all these tiki torches, and I've fogged the room or the area, and I've got mosquito stuff on me, and I'm still swarming with mosquitoes. Okay, so let's join the Zoom meeting in progress. Invalid meeting ID. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, let's try a different one. They said like, okay, is somebody sending a link or should I send one? Welcome to live television, folks. Well, it's not actually television, is it? Maybe I ought to start a meeting. At least I know how to do it. Okay, another invalid meeting ID. How we keep on getting all these invalid meeting IDs? Okay, Sujay just sent one. Let's see what happens now. Hey, it's working. All right. Okay, let's get back into this little debate we're having here, folks. I'm here to tell you this is something else. I'm really having fun on a Sunday night. How are you? Now, listen up, because after we get through with this little shindig, I'm going to tell you everything that's been going on and why. Well, I'm not going to tell you exactly why, but why I'm in Florida right now and not freezing my ass off in northern Michigan. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. Right. Yeah, go ahead and start recording, CJ. And
Recording in progress.
we are back on the Truth is Viral Live Sunday night.
I want to end with one point, at least from my point. There is a difference between trespassing and an insurrection. I would even give you that, okay, some were probably pushed in, some went in. Yes, trespassing, but an insurrection is an armed group of people whose intent is to overthrow the government. That is completely not the case. And the reason why they're calling it an insurrection is so they can sit there and hold people in solitary confinement and basically not follow the law so they can intimidate people from protesting again. This is intimidation, and they try to brand Trump supporters as basically criminals. And Trump a criminal, so he can't run again. There's a purpose to this.
Can I say something?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so as someone who's not from America, who's not in America when this happened, so what I can tell is two things. What what from like a different continent, what I could see on the mainstream media was totally different to what I saw on alternative media sources. There was a difference of night and day. If the mainstream media was showing that everything was it was an insurrection, alternate media sources, everything else on the internet, it's like just proved the other way around. That is one thing. The second thing is how the people who are caught that they are being treated right now. That's bad. Like you don't see that. Like that's not normal. And
No
when
one
that,
should be treated
and,
like that.
yeah, no one should be treated like that. Exactly. And when you see things like that happening, you, I mean, I mean, it's not rocket science, right? You know that something's flawed. There's something very, very flawed.
All right, guys,
So,
reply.
I mean, so okay, so if you guys don't mind, I just want to kind of go back. While we were, had that break, I had the chance to kind of look at some of the claims that you guys made before, and I found some, like, basically fact check some of the claims that you guys made before. So firstly, there was the claim that regarding Kavanaugh that basically people were not arrested during Kavanaugh protest. So according to the United States Capitol Police, government website, a total of 101 individuals were arrested. So 78 were arrested throughout the day during the Senate office buildings. They were charged with DC Code 22-1307, crowding, obstructing, and incommoding. At 1 p.m. on First Street between East Capitol Street and Maryland Avenue, 16 adult males were arrested, and they were charged with the same, crowding, obstructing, and incommoding. And at 3:10 p.m., 6 individuals were arrested in the Senate gallery. I think that these were probably the people who were pounding on the doors. They were charged with unlawful conduct, and by 4 p.m., one adult female was arrested on the 4th floor of the Dirkson's Senate office building, and she was charged with, crowding, obstructing, and accommodating, as well as possession of marijuana. So just based on fact checks, that idea that people were not, arrested during the Kavanaugh hearings, it doesn't seem to hold up to scruff.
Well, my counter, are they still in jail because the R's are? Are they in solitary confinement because the R's are?
Also, yeah, I wanted to kind of look. I managed to kind of look through that idea of solitary confinement as well. Hold on. Give me 1 second here. Just found it. I just lost it. Sorry.
If they're still in jail, then I would agree.
Okay, so according to PolyFact, in May, the Guardian reported that 398 defendants were charged as of May 10th. At least 330 were listed on the Justice Department website or in federal court records as having been released from custody. So there isn't this idea that like hundreds of people are really in solitary confinement. As we're seeing, most people are being let out without any charges.
Okay, well, there are 70 of them right now. There have been hundreds that have been held without the possibility of being let out. I don't know if you're familiar with our justice system, but the Sixth Amendment guarantees American citizens the right to a speedy trial. Matter of fact, I think the time limit in order to bring charges actually is 90 days. Okay, these men have been in there much longer than that. They are being beaten, okay, by guards that are being told that that they're white supremacists, and the majority of the guards in the DC jail are black, and not only black but foreign. Okay, they're from Africa for some unknown reason. I don't know why. I don't care, but they are being misinformed and told that these January 6 prisoners are white supremacists, and they are being treated accordingly. Okay, so this is just wrong. There is no reason why they shouldn't be granted bail. Put a tether on them, allow them to go home and await trial. These people.
Do you remember the Stone case? Remember, he was being held in D.C. and the judge basically wouldn't let him out. What was it? God, that was 2 years ago. But basically, I will have to find the fact that I didn't research this. But without a doubt, that was judicial abuse because the judge was ignoring his higher ups. And the simple fact, we're still doing unwarranted spying, the FISA abuses. The courts where it basically you're allowed to spy, but a court has to approve it.
Well,
go ahead.
Sorry. Well, I just want to go back briefly, and I will say, I agree with you in the sense that I do believe that jails and people in general that go to protest, and I hope that we can find some common ground on this, because I feel like we're majorly missing on this. People that protest on both sides are treated very unfairly by the judicial system.
I agree.
And the United States has a huge prison population system that makes shit tons of money. And I'll tell you, I don't think it's a conspiracy. I don't really understand why, your weird rant about the black officers in a jail, considering Washington, D.C. actually has more black residents than white residents in the area. It's not necessarily an uncommon thing. But I will say, people should be able to say what, have fair speech and protest. And I think definitely, you like Trump supporters or people that had problems with the voting process. I think you guys should definitely have a voice to express that frustration and talk about it. But when it comes to, it feels like a lot of our congressmen and women in the insurrection were in danger. And I don't know, I remember them being rushed out. I remember, I watched it the whole day. I was trying to go through as many different angles as possible. I was trying not to just get one angle on it, but I was watching these politicians that we, hold on this pedestal run away, and while some of that, the anarchist in me gave me a little bit of, joy seeing these, elites that have never dealt with the reality of a populace actually coming back and directly confronting them. I don't agree with that's how we should solve problems. And, I think it's very lucky that nobody in power, no congressmen and women were hurt. Sadly, there was a woman that was shot by police, and whether, I'm not saying what the reasons was, but there are people that died in that location on that day.
Oh, there was.
Okay,
that's the reality of the situation.
Can I ask you a question, young fella? Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
800 people went inside the Capitol building. The Capitol Police could not stop them.
Mm-hmm.
Had they been intent on causing damage, starting fires, or assaulting
They
members,
caused $1.3 million.
Hold on. I'm talking now, okay?
Now,
had they been intent on causing damage or attacking members of Congress, there is nothing that could have stopped them. Nothing. There were 500,000 people outside that building. If they had intended on committing a real insurrection and dragging those Congress critters out and hanging them by their Buster Browns on the Capitol Hill Mall, nothing would have stopped them. Do you understand that?
I think that's
logic.
Not really. Because you can see as you might claim my sources might be wrong, but I can look at the video. There's police, these officers are trained to keep the people that were rushing in the Capitol, literally chanting, they're trying to kill Nancy Pelosi, they're trying to hang Mike Pence, they're coming in. They weren't successful, but I don't understand. I feel like this is where we disagree, because while I believe that, I'm sure there were people there that legitimately just wanted to protest, there were also people that legitimately wanted to cause harm to these politicians and disrupt the electoral process that was happening that day.
Okay, let me tell you something about the electoral process that was disrupted that day. There were 5 legal challenges from the 5 states where the voting had stopped in the middle of the night. And after that insurrection, those legal challenges were dropped. That was the purpose of this false flag. That, and to paint Donald Trump as some kind of a monster and to call his supporters domestic terrorists. There was a multi-pronged approach in order to make sure that Donald Trump never again enters the Oval Office.
Yeah, I think
I didn't call you a domestic terrorist.
But the FBI does.
Some of the people that were there, I would consider domestic terrorists. But a lot of the people out there, I wouldn't. But some of the people are being prosecuted by the extent of the law, trying to attack politicians. they are domestic terrorists by definition.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question about this.
So also like going off this, like you still haven't.
Okay, go ahead.
You still haven't we still haven't finished this idea that you said that like the people who came into the Capitol, if they wanted to, they would have killed politicians. I mean, the reason why they didn't get to kill politicians is because even though, right, the Capitol Police, as I said before, there was not too many of them, they managed to hide them away, right? They essentially the Capitol Police, even though they didn't fulfill their job, right, in keeping people off the Capitol, they fulfilled their job in protecting congressmen by hiding them away, right? We saw that the only reason why these people couldn't get to our congressmen and women is because they couldn't find them. I mean,
Mr. Powell?
we saw.
Yeah.
We saw that there was like multiple people actually who kicked down the door to Nancy Pelosi's office. Thankfully, they didn't hurt any of her interns and staffers because they were hiding in a secondary office that they didn't gain access to. But we saw that they entered various Congresspeople's offices. They kicked down the doors to various Congresspeople's offices. Obviously, they thought that these Congresspeople were inside those offices. Why else would they enter these offices? Additionally, I also sorry, I keep on going back to this idea that you said, like people, these people who attack the Capitol, they're being treated unfairly. So once again, fact checking that, I found a Guardian article just now. At least 70 people who were initially detained for attacking the Capitol, they've been released as they await hearings. This compares with the typical rate of 25% for federal defendants. So we see that a greater percentage of the people who are actually arrested for the Capitol, for the Capitol riots, a greater percentage of those people have actually been released and are awaiting hearings compared to other federal crimes.
Let me ask you a question, Jay. You know Jake Angeli, the QAnon shaman, right?
Yes.
The guy with the horns. The guy with the horns and wearing the fuzzy vest, right? Okay. He did nothing but walk around yelling freedom. He didn't kick down.
I believe that he
hold on, I'm not done with my point. He
Yeah.
did nothing but walk around yelling freedom. Okay. And now he's been convicted and he's going to spend the next 3 years in a federal prison. Do you think that punishment fits the crime of walking around and not hurting anybody, but just yelling freedom? Does that punishment fit that crime, Jay?
Well,
it will. Okay, so well, what he did essentially, that was not the only crime. I mean, the crime was that he literally showed to the world that the American democracy is unstable. I mean,
Dude, that's not
a crime.
He entered into the Senate chamber.
Law, man. That's not
it
a
is,
law.
It is a law.
No,
it's treason. It's treason.
I mean,
you can't walk into the Senate chamber, sit in the Senate
That's
seat.
making up laws, dude.
He sat in the Senate seat. I mean, he did just.
Dude, that's not okay.
He literally he prevented a congressional hearing from going on.
Or laws. You don't.
It is a law to prevent a congressional hearing from going on. Because to block a congressional hearing is against the law. To block a congressional hearing is against the law. To block Congress's action is a law.
He break?
Okay, let's look at this.
It's just he trespassed.
He trespassed.
Right, could you?
I mean,
if trespassing is the only crime that he did.
It was not the only crime. He blocked congressional proceedings. That's a major crime.
Should be arrested.
Dude, he trespassed.
And he blocked congressional proceedings.
Are the caravan people still in jail? I'll bet my house.
Could you repeat the name of the QAnon guy and let's look up his crimes. Let's look up what he was charged with.
His name is Jake Angeli.
And I agree with Jacob. Right and left should be able to protest unless they're breaking something or starting fires or causing violence. Now my issue is if you sat there and trespassed, you trespassed. Now because I looked, I thought most of the caravan people were released. I did not look up every single name. My issue is the difference in how it's being covered in the media and how it's being covered judicially.
January 6th.
Yes, if you went into the Capitol, it's trespassing. But we're not calling caravan people domestic terrorists and threatening democracy. It's night and day how those two issues were covered. And yes, no one died under caravan hearings, but I also don't mention, oh yeah, that the cops had something to do with 2 of the deaths. I mean,
Okay, that's entirely other issue that we have to get to next, I guess. I never heard that the cops. I mean, I know that the
Well, they
cops
shot
obviously
one of them.
killed
What about the
Ashley
second
Bennett.
one?
Yeah, but I mean, she was entering into the either, I think, the House chamber. She was trying to break into the House chamber whilst our representatives were evacuating the House. So I think that's obviously a justified killing.
And do you think
But
that
she was entering into the House chamber whilst her
do you
cops
think
were
that
leaving?
6'4", 280-pound cop couldn't have taken down that young lady without killing her?
I mean,
is that what you're telling me, young man?
Well,
there's also like hundreds of people behind her who would have stormed as well if she managed to get through.
Yeah, what about the cops that were behind her? There was a tactical squad right behind her when she was shot. What about them?
I saw the video.
Okay.
There was, I think the tactical squad was with 5 people. They couldn't have taken on that entire.
Dude, she was surrounded by cops and they shot her.
And also going back to the Angeli guy, he was not only charged with trespassing, right? Civil disorder, right? That was trespassing this case, but also what I said, he blocked congressional proceedings. The official charge for that is obstruction of an official proceeding, which is a major crime. Violent entry, right?
Okay, let's go back to Kavanaugh again. Okay, they obstructed the congressional proceedings.
Yes, but they were charged. All of them were charged.
Bullshit. They were ushered out of the room. They were ushered out of the room and released.
We can read the charges again.
Read the charges and then realize that the charges were never pressed, that progressive prosecutors dropped the charges immediately after they were arrested. They weren't even actually arrested. They were just escorted out of the House chambers.
It's night and day how they were treated legally.
Well, I mean, it's just, it seems we're sort of switching also to a discussion on the police conduct at the Capitol. And it brings me sort of to the question that obviously in 2020, from my point of view, the biggest protest of my time was the Black Lives Matter protest, protesting about George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, and all these other people that were killed by police, and the police shootings and the prison industrial complex, which is something that I'm getting sort of hints that in a way you sort of have some sort of common ground with me here, because I would have liked, while I was not there, I cannot propose a new solution. I don't know what I would have done if I would have shot that lady or not. I mean, it's a horrible situation to be in, but there is a sort of, in the way police are trained in the United States, they are, a lethal, they are trained to use lethal force. And if you run at a police officer in America, the reality of the situation is you're probably going to get shot and killed, because this is how, the police respond. I mean, for better or for worse, police kill people. This is, and so I don't agree with the double standard that these protesters were treated any differently from the protesters that I saw getting mistreated, beaten, and shot by the police. But I'm interested to see if you agree with me on any of these sorts of things, whether if I have any point at all, or if it only is applicable to what you believe.
Well, I mean, I do think
police also protect people, man.
Well, I don't think that anybody should be killed by the police for the simple act of protesting. Okay, now, it was a tense situation, but doggone it, that dude's 6'4", 280 pounds. She was 5'4", and weighed like 120. He could have pulled her down and put handcuffs on her so damn fast, but he decided to shoot her instead. And he didn't need to shoot her, because, as I was saying, there were five Capitol Hill SWAT team officers right behind her. He almost shot his own men, because they were literally 2 feet behind her when she was shot. There was no threat. There wasn't a whole rush of people through that door. There was one little girl.
And why didn't they arrest her?
So my question for you is that abnormal for the U.S. police to do that?
I don't know if it's abnormal, but I would say it's definitely wrong.
Yeah, I definitely think it's wrong.
The police use deadly force way too often in my opinion.
I agree with that.
There, we finally 2 hours in, we finally found something we can agree on, right?
Hey, you know
there
what?
You go.
If we had more time, I
things.
guarantee you that we would find a lot more to agree on. Okay, but we're talking about a very complicated situation that I have been balls to the wall exposing for the last 11 months. I don't expect you to know everything that I know. I'm sure I don't know everything that you know, but I've got someone looking for me right now for a video of a Capitol Hill police officer that pushed a protester from the second floor balcony to his death. Okay, that's something that hasn't been seen a lot, not even in the what you'd call alternative media, but it exists. I have seen it. I've got a producer looking for it right now so that I can share it with you. And you tell me, is this guy standing on a balcony that gets pushed to his death by a Capitol Hill police officer, did he deserve that?
Well, I haven't seen it, so that'll be new for me. And Jacob, we both agree you should be able to protest without being jailed. So that's two things.
So then I would, since we both agree that the police use the use of force, in way too often, whether it be Ashley Babbitt or whether it be the various people of color who've been gunned down by police officers, why do you guys agree that we have to reform police use of force, and do you guys disagree with like the Republican attempts to stop this
I think it's a separate show, dude. That's a long conversation.
But I mean, it relates to the idea of police use of force. I'm just, since Republicans have they've kind of stayed away from this. So they've been against revising police use of force, and they've been against revising police, tactics.
I think
I don't think anybody's against revising their use of force policies. What you're talking about is defunding the police. How's that working out in California right now when you've got flash mobs just going into any store that they want and taking everything that they want and facing absolutely zero consequences, because that is the law that the progressives in California have put into effect. If you go into a store and you steal something that's worth less than $1,000, you get a traffic ticket. That is a fact.
Not once in my sentence did I mention defunding. I mentioned revising.
No, you don't need to mention defunding because you want to avoid that subject
it's entirely
altogether.
Different from defunding. It's an entirely different concept. Yeah. It's an entirely different subject from. I mean, for instance, progressives pushed for stopping police use of chokeholds, which Republicans during 2020 completely were against. Right. So, I mean, that's one example of use of force, which requires no defunding the police. I didn't mention defunding the police once. It's a completely different subject, but I'm just saying.
Okay, let me tell
you
something,
pushed
Jay.
for changes to police actions, which Republicans have blocked, such as stopping the use of chokeholds, which is commonplace all throughout Europe, all throughout Japan and all the other high-income developed countries. Additionally, if you want to talk about defunding the police, I mean, the defunding the police movement, it's, Republicans have hijacked it and really skewed its meaning. It doesn't mean, it basically means taking money out of the police department and putting it into social services, which actually elevate people's incomes. Okay, but what Republicans are saying is that essentially we're taking all the money out of police departments. We're completely going to remove police departments. We're not going to have any police departments. That's not all what progressives are saying. We're saying take a portion of the funding. That's what the squad wants. The squad is not going to completely remove the entirety of police forces in America. What we're saying, take a portion of police funding and put it into social services, right? Because
this should be a separate
Americans
show,
are over policed. Additionally,
Jay, let me ask you a question real quick.
Should be a separate show. I think.
When you take money from the police department and put them into social services, which specific social services would you put that money into?
Housing, food services, educational services, things that attempt to reduce income disparities between.
All right. Well, in the United States, We have housing and food services. It's one is called
We
one is called section
we have the
section
highest. We have
it's called Section 8 housing. If you don't have enough money to afford a house, then the government will pay your rent. Okay. As far as food inequity goes, if you don't have enough money to eat, you get food stamps. Nobody is going without in this country unless they don't want to work or they don't want to go to social services and apply for the benefits that are available to them. And let me tell you something real quick about the benefits that are available to them. My wife died screaming because Nancy Pelosi decided that her beautiful little dreamers should have the benefit of free food, free housing, and even free college. Okay. But when it came time for my wife, who had worked 2 and 3 jobs for 40 years, paying into the system with every check, when it came time for her to collect and get some hospice when she was dying, the Obamacare program that paid for it was broke. For the cost of 1/4 of a credit hour in a California university, my wife could have had skilled professional care as she died, but she died screaming, Jay. That is what progressive policies do to this nation.
If it was for Republicans, we wouldn't even have Obamacare. Obamacare would be repealed. Thank God for the one senator. I'm very sorry, I forgot his name. Which I really shouldn't.
Mitt Romney.
No, not Mitt Romney.
He voted against the healthcare repeal.
The one guy who voted against repealing Obamacare.
John McCain. It was John McCain.
Not forget his name. He was John McCain. Now, without John McCain, Republicans would have managed to completely repeal Obamacare. Not introduce
John McCain.
Any healthcare
John
policy
McCain was a filthy traitor. He has always been a filthy traitor. When he was
this guy, I mean,
no,
John
you
McCain
shut up.
fought in Vietnam.
You shut up right now. He was called
Guys,
he was called the Hanoi. He was called the Hanoi Songbird because he violated Article 5 of the United States Servicemen's Code of Conduct. He made propaganda recordings for the Vietnamese that put his fellow flyers in danger. He's always been a traitor. And the only reason he wasn't hung when he came home from Vietnam was because his father was an admiral. And he wanted
we don't tell people to shut up. Okay, let's go back to the immigration and crime, or like really a separate topic. Just want to finish up with
First
off, I'm sorry to hear about your wife's passing.
Yes,
that's a terrible thing
to have
to deal with.
Let me apologize to everybody. That really got me heated up, and I don't mean to yell at you guys, but doggone it, if you had been through that freaking nightmare, you'd be pretty damn pissed off too.
Were you in Vietnam?
No, I'm talking about my wife.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
I want to say I'm legitimately sorry that you had to go through that, but I do also want to say, one of my best friends growing up was protected by the Dreamer program. He was someone that, I love and, I care about a lot. And he doesn't have, like you said, like free college. He just, has a place to live and he's not deported. And so my sort of 2 cents on it would be, I wish that we had funded the programs that had kept your wife from get her the help that she needed. And I also wish, that we could have also, I hope that they're, I don't want to deport my friend either, that has grew up. He spent his entire life here in the States, living the same life that I did, as a kid.
Now I understand
I just don't understand the connection is what really I'm trying to say here. Sorry. I don't understand how. I understand like the fund allocation, but I don't think I don't think you should hold resentment towards the Dreamer program for a totally different budget that was funded. It's just my opinion, but I'd like to hear.
Let me explain it to you this way. Okay. Taxes are taken from the American people. They're not taken from illegal aliens. Illegal aliens do not pay taxes. They pay sales taxes because they have to when they purchase something, but they do not pay income taxes. Why? Because they are undocumented.
Well, under the Dreamer program, though, they do pay taxes because they're part of that program.
Well, yeah, but most illegal aliens are not covered. by the Dreamer program. Okay, but anyway, that's really not either here nor there. Basically, what I'm saying is that all of our tax dollars, from whatever source they may come from, are put into one giant pot. Okay, and everybody's got their hands sticking in that pot. They want this and they want that, but we have to understand something. This we're like in a lifeboat. We are almost $30 trillion in debt. I don't think we'll ever be able to repay that. Okay, we cannot keep on giving our money to foreign countries that hate us. We cannot keep on giving our money to criminals that come into the United States. The very first thing that they do is commit a crime by coming into the United States. What about all of the foreign nationals, like say somebody from Mexico? Let's just pick Mexico out of the hat. What about all the Mexicans that have gone to the United States Embassy, filled out an application to immigrate to America and become American citizens? Their place in line is being taken. It's stolen by those that want to jump the line and get on top of a freight train or get in the back of a coyote's truck and cross the border illegally. And then when they come here, everything that they do is illegal. I mean, well, not walking, but obviously.
We're over an hour.
If I could just respond to that for a second. So one,
guys, 1 minute. I think we only have like 5 minutes left, so we'll have.
Yeah, we got 5 minutes left.
Basically, we just don't have enough money. Okay,
we don't have enough money for foreign wars and
can we do immigration?
Okay, now see, there's something that we agree on. I don't want to fight in foreign wars. I don't want my brothers and sisters to die in foreign wars, especially like the one that George Bush started in Iraq, based on a lie. The Iranians or the Iraqis never had any weaponized uranium. He based that all on a lie. He wanted to steal their oil on behalf of his buddies with Saudis, because he was in business with them at a company called Arbusto, and he also wanted to kill Saddam Hussein, who tried to assassinate his father. He started that war based on a lie, and 30,000 of my brothers and sisters are dead. Over 1 million Iraqis are dead. So Jay, we agree on this one. Let's end off foreign wars, solve our own shit first, and then maybe we can help other people. How about that?
So let's finish.
That's why I agree with.
Let's just.
Finish out with some last points, because we did immigration and all that other stuff. We're going to be here 3 hours. Was January 6th an insurrection?
No,
was it basically trespassing and a few idiot people?
Go back to Bob's point. Like, if it was an insurrection, like we would have known that a long time ago. That building would have been destroyed.
Yeah, so my point is, they weren't armed and they weren't trying to overthrow the government. They believe that an election was stolen from them. That is my feeling. They trespassed, and if a few bad apples, and I still think that maybe the government or Antifa or other people are trying to make people look bad. I can't prove that, but it was trespassing, and they should be treated like the hearing was, because I guarantee you none of those people are still in jail. So everyone else, last points?
In my opinion, I don't think we're going to agree on this, obviously, but I definitely do think it was an insurrection. I mean, they were going against the lawful vote of American citizens, which obviously you guys don't agree on, but I believe that the election was secure, as was stated by the Department of Justice, Trump's Department of Justice, and Trump's Department of Homeland Security. But I think that they were going against the lawful vote of American citizens. They were trying to block this lawful vote so that they could keep their fascist dictator in power. But in my opinion, I think that because they were trying to stop this vote, because they're trying to stop the vote of the American people, it was, in my opinion, an obvious insurrection.
Okay.
Jacob, your point?
Yeah, go ahead.
Jacob?
Yeah. So, I think it's a very complicated situation, and there is no way that I can wrap up all of my feelings about it in a minute. So I will say thank you, everyone, for telling me what your insight was on it, because at the very least, I learned a lot about other people's point of views on the insurrection. So that's kind of the point of the podcast, in my opinion, is to listen and learn other people's opinions. So thank you for doing that. I wish it was a little little more civil, but we did our best, and we
Yeah.
found some things to agree on
Three
at the very end.
things.
So
Three
well,
things.
I'm a jarhead.
So
I'm
I'll
sorry.
take
I
it. I'll
apologize
take
for
it.
that.
It's okay.
So that the cops overdo it. We're in too many wars, and you should have the right to protest if you don't break things.
Amen.
Sure,
I think we can all agree on that. Yeah.
CJ?
Yeah, I mean that's about it, right? Like Jacob said, we at the end of the day we have to come to a common point. Like whether you're the right or the left, what matters is safety, and what matters is common sense. And I think once we give importance to common sense and look things for what they are, I think we'll be sorted. Like we won't have any cultural issues or all those sorts of things.
I mean, I personally think all the cultural issues are being stirred up worse. I mean, we shouldn't be this divided, if you ask me.
Right,
and I do think we agree on things more than we disagree. And there's middle ground for a lot of these issues. I truly believe that.
See, the right is not so bad after all, guys.
Well, it's, I mean, as I said a long time ago, I think it's different people valuing different things. That doesn't necessarily make one person wrong over the other. Security versus freedom, they're opposites. Somebody might value freedom more, somebody might value security more, but I think the importance of talking is finding middle ground, so there's not a freaking war.
Yeah,
and maybe I can not get everything I want, you can not get everything you want, but we can come to some middle ground where we don't hate each other. And that was the point of these podcasts for me.
Yeah, well, I think it was some old dead white guy that said that those that would be willing to trade their freedom for security are going to end up with neither. So,
Franklin, I think.
Yeah, that was the dead white guy I was talking about. I was being facetious, but it wasn't an insurrection. And I want you gentlemen that I've been arguing with, and while I've got the floor here and everything's quiet, I do want to apologize. I get sometimes heated because, doggone it, I'm in the middle of a
Recording
battle.
stopped.
And
that's it.
Okay.
No,
well,
sorry.
So anyway,
I had to stop it. I had to stop it because the call would have been cut. So please go on.
That's okay. But I've been in battle now for 11 months. Okay, I am literally in that mode. Okay, I see threats everywhere, and they're not imaginary either. I was offered a $200,000 bribe to stop talking about my January 6th footage by a major Republican player.
Jeez,
I'm in Florida right now. I'm not running, but I'm hiding. And I don't want the wrong people to get me, because after that bribe failed, my life was threatened. And it's a credible threat from a very serious player. Okay, so now I want you to watch The Truth is Viral over the next few months, because I am in Florida for a reason, and it's not just to hide. I can't tell anybody exactly why I'm here. Can't tell you what I'm going to do or who I'm going to see, but I got news for you. In the next few months, this is going to blow up, because those guys that I caught that were breaking into the Capitol and pushing people inside, they're going to be found, and they are going to tell who gave them their orders to do that. The Capitol Police, okay, they're going to tell who gave them the order to displace from that window, leaving me alone to defend it. Okay, this is all going to come out. I've got now 10 United States congressmen and senators that have taken possession of my video, promising to do something about it. Do I trust them? Not as far as I can drop a hot steaming chud. Okay, so that's why I'm continuing to fight this and get my video into the hands of as many people as possible. And I'm facing tremendous opposition from people in politics and people in the news media. But I have God put me on this earth for this one particular moment. Everything that I have been through my entire life has saved me for this moment. I was often wondered, why would God take my ability to speak when I was in a chemical accident in Colorado Springs that basically ended my career as a mainstream media journalist? And I was able to get my brain rewired after a couple of years. Went back to college. I wanted to be a doctor. I'd spent the last few years in a nursing or in a medical environment, and I thought, well, hey, I can do this. 6 months into medical school, I fall off my roof and break my back. So I'm in a wheelchair for 3 years, 8 operations and hundreds of hours of physical therapy. I could walk again, but I wasn't a doctor. Now, why did God allow all this to happen to me? I'll tell you what I think. I think that He gave me the skills to be a journalist, to be a good journalist. And He caused things to happen that basically kept me on the sidelines until He needed me for this moment. I caught 2 federal agents attacking the Capitol. 2. If I caught 2, how many more were out there? This is all going to crumble, folks. I'm not afraid to lead this charge. They can kill me. I don't care. It's like threatening me with a good time. Send me back to my Father in heaven. What? Give me a break. You don't scare me. So, yeah, I guess that's about it, guys. I need you to go to givesendgo.com/Bobby Powell and throw me whatever won't put you out. I've been totally demonetized. Google demonetized me. YouTube demonetized me. PayPal took away my ability to accept donations, which were keeping The Truth is Viral going. I've been living on my Social Security disability for 15 years now. Everything that I was able to do with The Truth is Viral was because I had your help. I had your money, because it costs money to do this. It really does. I need a streaming service so that I can stream to several different platforms at once. That costs $150 a month. I don't have that. If you want to help me get this information out there, if you want to fight back against the communist bastards that committed a freaking coup against our president and against our nation, I need your help. I'm not afraid to walk point, but damn it, I need your help. Somebody's got to have my 6. Who's it going to be? So yeah, go to givesendgo.com/Bobby Powell. And oh wait, I need you to write this down, because YouTube and Google are going to go past demonetization, and they're just going to totally kill The Truth is Viral on their platforms. So I need you to write this down. Where is it? Come on. Okay, yeah, there it is. Remember I told you I'm doing the jobs of 4 people at the same time? It's stressful. Okay. Go to bobbypowell.substack.com. That's where I'm going to be starting to post everything from now on. I'm going to abandon Blogspot. I'm not getting any referrals from it anyway. Try searching The Truth is Viral on Google. See if you can find it. If you don't have a direct link, it ain't there. I can't even find myself. It's hilarious. But what's not hilarious is that our country was attacked. It was attacked by seditionist pigs. And we're gonna see some justice if I have anything to say about it. They can't stop me, not unless they want to kill me. Good luck with that, because apparently I'm freaking immortal. You guys see this? I'm not gonna let you or make you go through the whole 4 minutes of me groaning and crying after my broken shoulder. But I've done some pretty stupid crap in my time, which is another way that I know that God's been protecting me and keeping me on the sidelines for this moment in time. We're going to find these people. We're going to uncover the real insurrectionists that attacked our nation. We're going to get it done. So you need to pray on that, because we are going to need the help of Almighty God in order to make it happen. And that is all. Thank you for watching The Truth is Viral. My name is Bob Powell, and as always, God bless, Semper Fi, and hoorah. I'll see you when I see you, folks.
Thank you for watching The Truth is Viral with your host, Bobby Powell. Make sure to follow The Apocalypse on Twitter @The Truth is Viral. Like The Truth is Viral on Facebook, and if you can, please remember to donate to the cause via PayPal at www.bobpowell.blogspot.com.